Guys, we are here at the new shop, and it is first thing in the morning, and we're going to unload a truck that came in last night. We are super excited about this because it's a huge piece of machinery, the biggest we've ever owned. It weighs 20 tons, so it's going to be a little fun getting it off the truck. So here we go. Stay tuned for the rolling mill. Let's go unload. Let's go. All right, so step one is getting the doorway opened. This is where the new garage door is going in, and the carpenters have already cut it out and just tacked it back up. We are still waiting for this garage door to come in. So in order to get these machines in the building, we've got to get this door off. So we've got a couple of other pieces here. We've got the transformer and disconnect box for the rolling mill. And so we're gonna pull those off first, get those out of the way. Next are the spare rollers. So this rolling mill came with a set of backup rollers, which is super cool. They weigh 700 pounds a piece, and they're in these really cool boxes. So first we're going to take off the Blanchard grinder. It is the smaller of the two machines, and it'll be the easier one to get into the building. So as we set it into the building, we're going to set it on these 1-inch mild steel round bars, and this is going to help us move it into place. I don't have any machine skates on hand, so we're just going to get these onto the rollers and then into the building a little bit, enough to close the door, and then the rigging company, when they come up to move us in a couple of weeks, will put all these machines in place. And of course, this machine didn't roll very well because there's some uneven castings underneath the Blanchard. So to move these big machines, we just hired out our local big rig wrecker to bring a big truck out. This truck can lift 50 tons, and this rolling mill is 20 tons, so it was well within its capabilities. You'll notice there on the ground, there's some concrete block underneath the rolling mill. Those are attached to the bottom of the casting. Did not know about that ahead of time, but we had to spend a while chipping all that concrete off in order for the bottom of this machine to be smooth enough to roll on these rollers. So that was a little fun surprise partway through the progress here. Shout out to Hamptons. They are skilled at moving machinery. These guys knew exactly what they were doing, and the process went pretty smooth. All right, she's in the shop. As you can see, that was a big ordeal, but it actually went kind of smooth, better than I thought. I've been sweating this for like 2 weeks, and it's finally here. So let's start with the rolling mill at the back end. Giant 50-horse motor running 550 volts, and luckily it comes with a transformer, a step-up transformer, so we can bring our 480 three-phase in to the transformer. It's going to bump it up to 550 to run the giant motor. Transitioning down here, the middle section is an entire gearbox. And so this thing is full of oil and gears that reduces the power of, or reduces the speed of the motor and turns up the torque, basically. Makes it much more powerful when turning our big columns here. Transitioning down, you've got the actual headstock of the rolling mill. And this is kind of pretty traditional for all rolling mills. You've got two rollers. This is a 2-high. You can get rolling mills in 4-high where they've got supporting rollers and then actual small diameter rollers in the inside. We went with 2-high because we just pretty much run straight up standard steel through it. We're not doing any really cold rolling. This is a cold roll mill, so you can actually roll cold steel in it, but that's not what we'll be using it for, of course. This is the back side, and the steel come in the front. It's got tables on both ends, so that slides the steel straight out. As you can see, it's massive. It is overbuilt. We did run this up in Ohio. I went up to the factory where it was sitting, and we were able to run some steel through it. We actually ran cold steel through it because that's what we had on hand. And that steel, when it rolls in and comes out the other end, it's too hot to touch from the energy transfer and the friction of rolling cold material and reducing it down. It was super cool to see. We'll throw some footage of that in there. It has, of course, you adjust your rollers up here, heights, and it's super precise. It moves those rollers really slowly, and so you can get very precise rolling dimensions with this machine. And it's very easily can be adjusted. You can adjust your lineup of the rollers by just disengaging the wheel and then turning it, and you only turn one side. So you can use that to align the rollers and whatnot. Moving around, we've got the front of the machine here. So this is where the steel is loaded into. We kind of guessed that this is gonna be about a 3-man operation to run this machine. You're gonna have somebody feeding steel in, you'll have someone on the backside collecting the steel, feeding it either out and around and back to a table to get run through again, or put back into the furnace. And then a third person is probably gonna have to run the wheel. Depending on if they're running a whole batch at one dimension, they can just run it through, no problem, 2 guys. If the wheel needs to be adjusted each time, then it's probably gonna be a third man that's gonna have to adjust the wheel as we're feeding steel in. So it's gonna be really fun to nail down a work process and a workflow with a machine this size. This is industrial. This is big. This is the next class of machines, and we're excited where this is gonna take Baker Forge, because our biggest hiccup right now is rolling mills. We don't like the rolling mills we have. They don't work very well, very hard to use. This is gonna change all that. All right, so this is the Blanchard grinder. Now, a lot of you, if you're blacksmiths or you're in the forging industry, you will know what this is. But for those of you who don't, this is a giant tabletop grinder. So basically it surface grinds. You've got a magnetic table that spins, and then you have a big head chuck with stone attachments, and those circle over top of your steel the other direction. And basically it's for surface grinding, and we're going to use it in our production for putting stacks of steel on there, rip and scale and pattern off during the process. And so we went with a fairly large one. It has a 3-foot diameter table on it, so we can put plenty of steel on it. It's got all the bells and whistles. It's got auto down feed, it's got auto travel on the table. There's like 5 motors on this thing, so it's gonna be fun to hook up, but this is gonna be really critical in our process for getting clean steel and surface prep in between layups. All right, guys, well, that is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. We've got more equipment coming. We got more tools. We got more renovation work on the way. So stay tuned. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you next time.